In 2022, scientists made an interesting discovery. They found that a lot of material was erupting from the vicinity of the black hole 2 years after the black hole tore the star to pieces. This is the first time in history that we have seen something like this. So let's figure out what happened. October 2018. This whole story took place in a galaxy located at a distance of 665 million light-years from us. One star came too close to the black hole and was eaten. It sounds scary, but it's a common thing for astronomers. Such sad events happen all the time when a star is eaten. This is called a tidal destruction event. The flash from this meal was recorded by automatic devices watching the sky. Nothing unusual. The computer has compiled a report. There has been a tidal disruption event in the galaxy blah blah blah. We will call this event at 2018 HYZ. This is the official name of the event, but we'll just call him Jetty. This is an abbreviation of the comic name J-Timac Jadeface. It was proposed by the author of the discovery, Yvette Sens. Scientists have noticed tidal disruption events. Radio telescopes, as usual, began to monitor whether the so-called outflow occurred after it. This is always monitored after a tidal disruption event, but after watching the black hole for a few days and seeing nothing, they gave up. After 80% of such events, there are no outflows. In general, the radio telescopes decided not to waste their precious time and moved on to other important things. There was silence for a while, and then June 2021, 3 years later. Let me introduce to you the heroine of our story, Yvette Sens, a researcher at the Center for Astrophysics. Sens and her team decided to check out how things are with the night sky. They began to study data on several dozen tidal destruction events that have occurred over the past 2 or 3 years. Everything was normal and stable when suddenly Sens noticed something strange. Together, which had been calm for so long, a bright spot appeared. For no reason, the night sky near the black hole lit up again. Although she didn't eat anything new. What was that? Sens double-checked the coordinates 3 times. Maybe it's just a mistake? But no, all the data pointed to one thing. After 3 years of silence, something happened near the black hole. It was an outflow. And he didn't just show up. The data showed that the outflow occurred 6 months earlier, in November 2020. Sens decided, by all means, to study this phenomenon. She wrote to everyone, requesting a lot of data, the results of observations in X-rays, and so on. It wouldn't be unusual for a black hole to spit out something right after eating a star. This happens in 20% of cases. The strange thing was that she was silent for 2 whole years. Yvette and her team decided to compare Jetty with other similar events. They took a lot of signals, both those that were considered normal and delayed. The longest known delay was about 3 months. And then they came across some very strange data. Not only did this bright stream appear 2 years after eating the star, it spread with incredible speed. All other signals, even the one that was considered the brightest of them, were stable and calm. But Jetty's signal was wild, as if he was entering the race on the second lap, ahead of all the other athletes in a matter of seconds. The research continued. Another International Space Center sent its observations to Sens multi-frequency data on this outflow. To be honest, we are ordinary people. We won't understand much here, but radio astronomers will find it crazy. At first, when the outflow appeared, the entire spectrum of its frequencies steadily went up, as it should be. But then, in March-April 2020, the low frequencies for some reason began to fall. And it happened very quickly, in just a month. Good, you say. And what does that mean? Good question. We have no idea. Scientists can only say now, well, it's strange. Nothing like this has happened with such signals before. It was all unusual and mysterious. Therefore, experts continued to study the outflow. SENS says they now have two theories about its shape. First, this is a sphere that suddenly appeared and began to grow in all directions. Second, this is a jet that shot out near a black hole, like a splash of water. The truth is most likely somewhere in between. However, the craziest thing is that the speed of jetty, depending on its shape, can reach from 20 to 60% of the speed of light, the fastest in the universe. No such signal has ever been so fast. Scientists did not even imagine that such a thing was possible. Moving on to the obvious question, why is this happening? In fact, no one knows, but it will be very interesting to hear what theories scientists will come up with. So far, we have several versions. The most obvious of them say that something called a state change has occurred. Many of us think that the process of eating a star looks like this. A certain star flies past a black hole. The black hole begins to suck it in with frenzied force. The poor star tries to escape, but fails, and the black hole devours it. But in fact, everything is different. You've probably seen spectacular photos of black holes on the internet. Usually, they depict the black hole itself and a huge disk of light around it. This is called an accretion disk. It consists of light, gas, and various particles. When a black hole begins to devour a star, it essentially absorbs the star's material into its accretion disk. Have you ever seen how cotton candy is made? A jet of sugar is gradually wound around the stick until a large appetizing cloud is obtained. Black holes do something similar, but on the contrary, they suck up the jet of the star until it completely resolves. At the same time, only a very small part of the star is actually sucked into the black hole. About half of it falls into the accretion disk, and the other half just flies away to nowhere. So what happened in the case of Jetty? Here's the theory. The black hole tried to eat the star, but overestimated itself a little. She was probably too hungry. To her surprise, there was a lot of material there. She changed her mind, and the accretion disk turned from its usual state into a stream. The black hole ate too fast, choked, and regurgitated the remnants of the star. That's why you shouldn't rush while eating. It sounds funny, but I think you got the idea. Again, this is just a theory, not a definitive answer. Scientists have already observed something like this in small black holes. So why wouldn't something like this happen to a supermassive black hole? However, some things don't add up. For example, if this theory were true, we would have seen a bright flash in the X-rays, but it was not there. Also, why did the black hole choke on a star only 2 years later? So far, scientists can only guess. Sen said it was funny to look at the puzzled faces of the theorists when she showed them this data. She had found something that they absolutely could not explain. Sens told the full story of this discovery on Reddit and published it in official reports. She admitted that she was very happy to finally share her discovery with the world. She had been hinting at it for months, but she needed other scientists to confirm it. What does all this mean? That our knowledge is only a drop in the vast ocean of truth about the cosmos. And the more we learn, the more questions we have. Let's hope that one day we will be able to answer them.